the president.
According to the acting director of national intelligence, the transcript is in alignment with the whistleblower complaint. We all see it. We all see it's a conversation. Zelensky wants military aid, and President Trump asks him to look into the Bidens. I can't believe that that's okay with you.
Zelensky brings up he wants to drain the swamp in his country like the president is doing here. The president says, do me a favor, can you figure out what happened in 2016? I thought we all cared about what happened in the 2016 election.
And then he moves on to the Bidens. And then he moves on
after Zelensky says this important sentence, in addition to that investigation, I want to do all investigations in an open and candid way. Only then does the president bring up Biden. And my guess is, if you ask the American people, when they look at what happened with Joe Biden's son, I don't know that.
What happened with Joe Biden's son?
He got paid $50,000, Jake. $50,000 a month for several years now.
And the Ukrainian prosecutor said there's no evidence of wrongdoing.
Come on.
What?
Come on. The vice president's son gets paid $50,000 a month and gets hired by a company in an industry he has no experience in, and that's fine. And all you folks in the press and Democrats, no problem here. Go try taking that message to the American people.
If you want to propose a law,
who don't make $50,000 in a year, and when they see the vice president's son getting paid $50,000 a month in a field in an industry he has no experience in, I kind of wonder what Hunter Biden did in those board meetings. So would he just look at his phone, check out the sports?
In May, the Ukrainian
he's getting paid $50,000, and then when the company that's paying him that money is under investigation, guess what? Daddy comes running to the rescue. The vice president of the United States
comes running and says,
That's not
what happened.
Fire that prosecutor.
Sir, that's not what happened. The European Union, the Obama administration, the International Monetary Fund, clean government activists in Ukraine thought that the prosecutor was not prosecuting corruption.
So you're saying Joe Biden didn't tell Ukraine to fire that prosecutor? I think he did.
He did.
No, but he bragged about it.
The guy was not prosecuting anything. That was the problem. The government of the United States and the West.
Joe Biden told him to fire the prosecutor.
You're not saying facts. You say, here are the facts.
No, here are the facts. Did Joe Biden tell him to fire the prosecutor?
Because he wasn't going after corruption. He wasn't going after corruption. Do you understand what I'm saying? He wasn't going after corruption.
Was that prosecutor looking into Burisma, the company that had hired Joe Biden's son for $50,000
According to the Ukrainians, that investigation was dormant at the time.
Most important,
that investigation was dormant at the time.
Did Joe Biden's son get paid $50,000 a month in a field in an industry that he had no experience in? Those are three key facts.
If you want to push a law saying that the children of presidents and vice presidents should not be doing international business deals, I'm all for it. But you're setting a standard that is not being met right now.
I'm just telling you what happened. Joe Biden called up and said, fire this prosecutor or you're not getting in.
No, you're suggesting that Biden called for the prosecutor to be fired to protect his son. That's not what happened.
And President Trump says, can you help me figure out what happened in the 2016 election? After all,
Congressman,
Democrats just put our country through 3 years of this when there was a false accusation and there was no evidence of any type of coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia to influence that election.
Here's the thing.
The president brings that up. And somehow he can't do that, but Joe Biden can do what he
I want you to take a listen to Vice President Mike Pence when he was governor running for vice president, saying that it is a principle of the United States that foreign governments are not supposed to get involved in American elections. Let's roll that tape.
Now, y'all need to know out there, this is basic stuff. Foreign donors and certainly foreign governments cannot participate in the American political process.
That once was a principle of the United States. But now, no, it's not, because the president is calling for Ukraine to investigate his rivals.
Jake, you're missing the fundamental point here.
I'm not missing anything.
Democrats, if you want to impeach, if this is their argument, Rudy Giuliani talked to your Ukrainian. Rudy Giuliani, the private lawyer of the president, so we're going to impeach this president.
I'm not saying whether.
I think the American people are going, really?
I'm not taking a position
in light of what this president has been able to do leading our country, in light of the economic growth, what he's done with our Supreme Court justice, what he's done with the embassy in Jerusalem, a host of things. You really think the American people are like, wait a minute, so Rudy Giuliani, the president's private lawyer, had a conversation
I think that you came here and leveled a bunch of accusations and allegations about Hunter Biden.
I didn't level. I just said the facts. Did he get paid $50,000 a month?
He was paid by a foreign company. Yeah, he was paid by Burisma. But Joe Biden was trying to get a prosecutor who was not pursuing corruption fired, and it was supported.
It's amazing the gymnastics you guys will go through to defend what you really think the vice president.
And I would think somebody who's been accused of things in the last year and two would be more sensitive about throwing out wild allegations.
I'm not throwing out wild. I'm throwing out the facts.
The prosecutor was not pursuing corruption. That's why the entire West wanted him fired, including anti-corruption activists in Ukraine. I don't understand what you don't get about that.
I get that. I'm just talking about this specific case. that there's been reporting on, and the facts of that specific case are what he was paid per month, $50,000. Like I said, that's more than some of the folks I get the privilege of representing in the 4th District of Ohio get paid in a year. He's getting at $50,000 a month. The vice president's son, he got hired for what?
The president's daughter right now is having all sorts of copyrights granted in foreign countries. That doesn't alarm you. The president's sons are doing all sorts of business all over the world. That doesn't alarm you.
Come on.
Come on. Either there's a principle that people should not benefit from their connections, or there isn't.
The previous administration's FBI went after this president on July 31st.
They did a crappy job then, because they didn't even acknowledge there was an investigation until after the election.
They spied on 2 Americans associated with President Trump's campaign. They put Peter Strzok in charge of that campaign. The guy who said Trump should lose $100 million to zero. They allowed Jim Comey leak documents to get a special counsel. They used the dossier to go get a warrant to spy on
now we're back to the dossier.
No, I'm just saying that's what happened to President Trump. And now that none of that worked. None of that worked.
I understand you want to change the subject, but the president was pushing the president of Ukraine to investigate a political rival. I cannot believe that is okay with you. I can't believe it's okay with you. If this is a principle...
It's not okay because he didn't do that.
It's in the transcript. We all read it.
I read the transcript.
He says that the Bidens need to be investigated.
That's what you guys do. You guys don't read things in context. The context is that comes up when Zelensky's talking about all investigations open and candid.
Congressman Jordan, we appreciate your passion. Thank you so much for being